What's up, you guys? It is Mary.
And Emma.
And today we are going to be talking about a little incident that I think we all remember. I think from season 2, where Mykelti was kicked off of a horse by said horse. And she had mentioned that, one, she still sees a chiropractor till this day, 16 years later. And
wow.
2, she was never told not to ride the horse. So does it seem like they try to maybe put the blame on her so that they won't
have like a little storyline? Rebellious Mykelti, because they really were like, they had that narrative that Mykelti was the rebellious one. We saw her with her different color hair. I mean, even though Madison also had like different color hair, but you know, Mykelti, that narrative was out there, like she beats to her own drum and she questions everything and all that stuff. So maybe that was a narrative that they were trying to
go with, or maybe it was the easiest one for them, because because who wants to have on TV, the negligent parent, let them be on the horse, and then they get kicked off, and then her tailbone and her back are out of whack 16 years later. Like, who wants that narrative?
So you mean instead of the parents getting the blame,
you just use the child as a scapegoat? Do you think it was intentional, though?
Well, that could be the case. That could be the case. When I think about it, when you think about Cody now, maybe he could have done that.
Because she said she doesn't remember being told not to ride the horse. Yeah. Now, my thing is, why would you go on a horse if you know not to go on the horse? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Especially when there's cameras there.
So these are people who were around the ranch each year. So she knows the rules and stuff like that.
Exactly.
So why would they go against the rules?
Yeah, and why would they? Yeah, why would
and put yourself in danger?
Exactly.
Right? So that when you think about it now. But the other thing I wanted to talk about was this whole insurance thing.
Yes.
Like, she had this injury. I was just thinking, like, why don't they take her to the hospital or?
Well, I'm sure they did. They did run her to the hospital after that whole thing that happened. I do remember them putting her in the car.
Well, she did not mention that when she was talking on Patreon. She did say that Grandma Cheryl is a nurse, and someone did come. Actually, she did say someone did come. I don't know if it was the EMS. She did say someone did come there, and they kind of had to put her hip back in place. And she said it was very, very painful.
I'm sure.
And to this day, she has to see a chiropractor. I'm just wondering.
It was probably some bootleg chiropractor they had on the ranch for accident.
My thing is this, right?
Messed up her hip further.
My thing is just that, I don't know, maybe if they had insurance. And I don't know if they've ever really talked about this. It's really none of our business for them to talk about it. But I do know the whole thing with Isabel. So I'm just wondering if especially with the polygamous situation, because you have like
so many kids,
so many wives, there's only one legal wife, right? Quote unquote legal wife, right? So that's the only person really that can come under your insurance. You can't put all these other people under your insurance. And at that time it was Mary who had the
Robin took
marriage certificate, right? Well, before Mary gave it to her,
like
under duress, but still. Anyway, that's the problem with a family like this, because then if something happens to one of the other wives' children, they might not be able to get the care that they fully need because they don't have insurance. That's just what I
remember they only got insurance when Isabel had to go have her surgery. I think that's when it happened.
At that time.
And I think they had to pay out of pocket for her, like, scoliosis stuff, I think, throughout the years.
Yeah. So, I mean, it can get expensive, and you think, you're like, well, maybe we can just push it in place. I mean, she needs to learn her lesson anyway. Maybe we can just put the hip back in place, and she should be fine. She's young. It will work after a while, but it's a shame 16 years later.
She said she still has to go often.
She is still dealing with this. It's just, if they had just dealt with it properly from the very beginning and had the insurance and stuff that they needed, will she still be in this position? I just wondered. It's just my little former healthcare person.
I think it was a rogue chiropractor that they had, who probably didn't even have no damn training.
You go to chiropractor, like, yes,
at some point you might feel some twinge in the pain, but doesn't you feel relief? That's what I've always seen the chiropractic videos.
Not necessarily.
No?
Not necessarily.
Have you gone?
Remember, I was seeing a physical therapist for years.
No, but chiropractors are different. Like, don't they snap you in place or whatever it is?
Yeah. I was going to physical therapy, and it got to a point where the physical therapy was... my doctor
actually said for me
to stop, right, because she said that it was aggravating the pain. It was just aggravating the muscle and aggravating the pain. So, yeah, so I had to stop doing that particular kind of physical therapy. They suggested more of like an aqua therapy as opposed to going to, physical therapy. So,
yeah. But yeah, y'all, let us know. Do you think the parents were using Mykelti as the rebellious child
and
scapegoat?
What do you think about this the polygamous situation with the insurance? That has always been
the major
like a little
issue.
bit of a worry.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you may have children who really need help, who are really not well, like Isabel,
Yeah.
And, how do they navigate that? I think what they do, they look to see, okay, which one is like a life and death situation, right? She was in the hospital. Remember, she was in the hospital.
Yeah, I know.
Wonder what happened with all of that, like in terms of
they probably had to pay out of pocket
and stuff like that. So yeah, so maybe the life and death, we're gonna take you to the hospital, but bones, muscle, you gotta handle that.
You're gonna get the whole guy from the barn, right? To help us
out. Maybe even blood work, blood transfusions. We may have someone come to the house, or I don't know. I don't know how it works. Like, those of you who have been in this lifestyle, let us know. But that's my worry when she was talking about that. I was like, damn, 16 years. I mean, it also, I've always wanted to ride a horse, learn how to ride a horse. But now I'm kind of like, oh, you can really harm yourself. I don't know if I want to even bother to do do
Horses are about 1,000 daggone pounds. I mean, I love horses. I mean, I used to ride them. Yeah. I've ridden them a couple of times. But, like, it is scary. Because I remember my horse, and it buckled one time because it saw a snake. And I was like, God, don't let me die. Don't let me die today. Don't let me die. Well, that was scary as hell. And it wasn't like he even did a huge jump. But, like... just the possibility of my, how much did I weigh? Like, 1 point.
You always seem so much high up.
It's like when you were so high up.
It's like, I was like,
fall will be horrible. Anyway, y'all, we'll see you guys on the next video, and happy Sunday!